Tanya. Really excited today because we have got an amazing person, actor Vineeth. Who doesn't know actor Vineeth? We know him as a fantastic movie actor especially in the South Indian industry. He's done so many different languages. I can't even begin to count. So many different languages in South, in Bollywood, Tollywood, Collywood, Mollywood, every wood you possibly can think of. And not only that, he's very versatile. He can do art, movies to commercial, and every single character that's been thrown at him, he does justice. He actually fits in with everything. And when I was actually looking at how long Vineeth, I call him with lots of respect, Vineeth, he's been in the industry for 35 years or 30 something years. It almost feels like he jumped out and was born and straight into movies because he hasn't changed a bit. So I want to know all about it. I want to know how he's maintaining himself and his journey and everything. So thank you for joining me and welcome.
Namaskaram, Dr. Tanya. Thank you so much. That's my little Chaitanya, my younger sister, I must say. And you're Dr. Tanya for everybody, especially in Australia. And for us film lovers, for us art lovers, dance lovers, you're our dearest, very talented Chaitanya. And thank you for those wonderful words, for that beautiful introduction you gave me. And I'm really honored to be here talking to you because I respect you as a person, as a great achiever in your field, and also an ardent devotee of traditional arts. So that's my special admiration to you, and I have been lucky to have been associated with you, your family, Sridevi Auntie and Monisha. I started my career with Monisha. So whenever I see you, it reminds me of Nisha actually, and you're a very important part of my journey also. So it's so nice that thanks to technology, that during such difficult times we can see each other, interact and talk. So I'm all set for you and to share and some of my humble experiences, a lot of inspiring moments that I've had in my life to you, and of course through you to the wonderful art lovers.
It's really a privilege to have you because, I talked to Nietzsche a lot about the movies and all that. But what you are, to me, like what you really said, I've always admired you from my childhood as a dancer. I've seen you perform from my early years, going to the dance school, Kalamandalam Saraswati teachers dance class. I've seen you there. So it is that respect and that attachment that comes first in my mind before, over and beyond anything, that is the respect and that's the connection that I've had. And very much so, the bond that you had with Nishchechi, with our family, with Williama, it's beyond what words can express. So I'm really honored. You're really family to me.
Absolutely.
Yes, during this unusual time, Chaita, we are actually we are lucky because technology has opened up all these options, and I'm just interested, and I'm sure all the viewers are interested as well. How have you utilized COVID time?
It was like a bang, so unpredictable, and we never anticipated this kind of a pandemic, or it would go on like this indefinitely. So that was a real bang for all of us as human beings. The next comes later, as artists or professionals or whatever. But just the humanity as such, the whole world became standstill, and that was definitely very, very disturbing. Especially initially, it just started off like that, and we never realized the magnitude of this pandemic initially. So that was I think it was a little the laid back attitude of I don't know what to say. Anyway, it's not right to talk about that now. We should have taken precaution earlier. But definitely it has made us think. All of us sit and think what nature is, what Mother Nature is, what we've been doing to environment. And as an individual, we all have responsibility in protecting and worshipping Mother Nature. So that's another very, very important aspect that has come into, I think, everybody's mind. Because we're so busy with all our usual activities and routine, we never, of course, all of us are responsible and we do things in our own way, but that is not enough. I mean, in a collective way, a huge responsibility has to be brought in, and it's a huge factor that has come out of this difficult situation. Utilize COVID-19 lockdown period as, see, I'll just share with you, normally in cinema, it's a very, very unpredictable field as a career. Even initially, when I wanted to take this up as a career, my parents, both of them are professionals. My mother's a doctor, my father's a lawyer, my sister's a doctor. So they were very particular that I should complete my basic education. And another thing is, what they insisted was, see, I was too young. When I came into films, I was just 15. So the priority was education at that time. And parents insisted that my basic education had to be complete. After that, you can do what you want. But even then, for me, I was into this mesmerizing world. Cinema is an absolutely wonderful world if you're with the right team of people. That's my experience, and it's been like that for me, honestly. We hear lots of stories here and there. But, I honestly, let me tell you, I've been very blessed in that aspect. To be with the finest of artists, technicians, directors, and the greatest of masters from whom I've learned so much. And that is how I grew. Because I was a young little boy studying in 10th, having no idea. I mean, of course, as a dancing student, but cinema it's a totally different world. There are a lot of technical aspects you need to know as an actor. There are a lot of technical elements that you have to be well versed in to be a professional actor. And at this 15-year-old boy was like, but that's what I'm saying. It's destiny and God's grace that I was, molded by these great masters like M.T. Sir, Hariharan Sir, so many great, great directors and wonderful artists, senior artists whom I've worked with. So when I think of them, only pranams to all of them. So that is how the journey started. And so what I'm trying to say is, and in cinema, when I finished my education and I'll make it very short. I'm not going to elongate that part.
We always talking to you.
When I wanted to, because I had enjoyed the absolute, the bliss of joy of being in a set and acting and, and all great, great films, even my initial films were all masterpieces by masters. Like Haran Sir, M.T. Sir, Padmanan Sir, Aravindan, Shaji and Kalru. All of them, like Kamal, Siddhi Male,
even now you watch those movies.
Even now, yeah, absolutely. So so then I had tasted this beautiful side of that, and it was there in me. I said, my God, how can I just leave this and go? Like, okay, I can study, I have to study, and that was priority that time. And I was not very keen on professionally, an actor. But when I was working, I was very professional, even at that young age. If it's a commitment, it's a commitment. And these were things my parents had taught me, and what I learned from my seniors also. Even at that age, we didn't have contracts, or we didn't have like this date, or you signed this or call sheet, nothing like. You're there for 30 days, you're supposed to come at 7 o'clock, you have to be there. And you work, that's it. And you enjoy your work. And every day was a new experience. So that's how I grew, and I tasted this. And when the time came where I had to take a decision, because it was neither a young boy nor a teenager or an adult, and automatically offers don't come. And that's another important aspect where people have to call you for cinema.
Yes.
They have to call you, and somebody else is investing money in your name. And otherwise, you have to be financially sound where you put in money and produce your films. And so that's how things happen. So there is a commercial side to it where you need to be in the limelight. Your name has to be marketed. with that, of course, the artistic goodwill also supports it. That's how my side was more of that, the artistic goodwill than the commercial aspect that I had by working with all these masters. And so there was a time when I did my graduation, I was totally cut off from this. I was a regular student in Chennai. So after that, I had to do something. So I had to, my parents asked me to register for CA, and I did that. I got selected for my articles, all my materials came, and I was so sad, my God. But once you register for CA, that's the end of it. You can't come back to cinema because that's another huge, task, and it's a lot of work. I was very sad, and because I was wondering, oh God, this is going to go. And basically, that artist wasn't me. My dance was going side by side. That is when Vineeth called me for our Kumpu, and that was the turning point. So what I'm trying to say, that is when my parents told me, like, this is a crucial decision you have to take. But if you take this decision, then go by that. You must be a professional, and they gave me that freedom. I just totally respect them. It was a risky decision because you never know, like, but times were different then. It's not like this. Now it's like, you need to give continuous hits, and otherwise you're not there in the field limelight, and there are so many talented people. There's a lot of exposure to a lot of people. Then it was different. There were very few artists, and people experimenting on new faces was it's a different scenario altogether. So in that way, we were lucky at that. And media was not this big that time. There was not much of television or this kind of exposure, technology. That's the time when I came. So in that way, that had helped me to learn also, like how to get balanced with this. And by God's grace, that is how it went. So as you asked, the time frame, of course, is there. But I would definitely, the rich experiences I've had I always treasure it. So that time, when there was no work, you're just sitting, because an actor doesn't have anything else to do. Tomorrow there's no shooting, you sit at home. Day after there's no shooting, What about the next week? No, I don't have any other films. So 1 month, 2 months, you go on. So that's the life of an actor. Unless you're into something else. And so this is a general, so it can lead you to a lot of, psychological issues, depression. So you have to be very balanced with the reality of being an artist in this field.
Yeah.
So that is one thing I learned at a very young age. And so I was very conscious about time, value of time. And so even if I get a day, I wouldn't like to just sit idle. I have to do something. So that was there in me right from the beginning. So even if I didn't have shooting, there's something, I'll be busy with my program, discussions or costuming, or I'll be running around for properties, or I'll be learning, or my dance classes will be going. So definitely dancing was there always. And I had stuck to it with all seriousness and bhakti. So that was always there to support me, which you asked me actually, like about my, balancing both the professions. So that has helped me in not wasting time. So I must tell you that is a blessing that has come out. Even in COVID times, I'm used to, utilizing time. I don't feel, otherwise I feel guilty. Even if I sleep an extra 2 hours, I said, oh God, why did I waste so much of time? I could have done something to that. So that is there in me. So somehow occupy yourself, do something creative or do something nice, anything. So basically it was always related to my profession, either cinema or dance. So either learning process would happen, otherwise my program sessions would be organized, or I would be coordinating something, I would be choreographing something. So I used to always occupy. So that has definitely been a boon. And so coming to your question, using the lockdown period, I had started in a dance school in Cochin, and it was inaugurated by my revered guru, Dr. Padma, last year in November. It was going very well. I have a beautiful place. I have a house and a huge studio hall, a 3,000 square feet studio hall above. So I had these wonderful batch of students, elders, ladies, men, little ones, and they all used to come, and it was like I've always enjoyed teaching. So it happened very well, and I had two teachers with me, but I trained them personally because I'm teaching Dr. Padma's pedagogy, and you have to master that. So the teachers who are there for me, I have to teach them, and they help me. But basically, the teaching part is done by me. So I was enjoying that process, and that's when this came in like one big, hit on the head. And so then the day they announced, I mean, all these kind of things are coming down, and they're closing down shops. And before the main lockdown, I announced my online classes in March itself.
That's very great.
Then itself I said I'm starting online classes every day 2 hours.
Wow.
I said every day 2 hours, all of you come. I have around 60 students in different batches. I have around 8 to 9 batches, and I've named each batch. So all the batches came together, and I used to take. So for the little ones, it used to be an observation class. They used to watch me teaching the seniors. I'll be talking about Nrita Hastas. I will teach them that. So it's an exposure for them. I said, you sit and watch. And then it was very interesting. The first intense lockdown period we had from March to I think April, I had daily sessions for 2 hours, 3 hours. We'll start at 10, we'll go on till 1. And I must tell you, everybody used to come. Everywhere, because it was such a relief. It was like, and as you said, it was a very troubled time, and we didn't know what was going to happen that time. So it was very disturbing. Even nights, I used to on a lighter side. Actually, I got stuck there. My family's in Chennai. I got stuck in Cochin. I had finished a program in Guruvayur Ambalam. That was the last program. That day, government called off all the public events. So I came back to Cochin, and I caught a viral infection, and doctor said you can't travel. And so I was in my house, and that's when the main lockdown came. So right away I started this, and I think that is this thing which I had in my mind of like not wasting time. So that is how, and now it's going full-fledged. It's going very well. To be honest, I'm not at all a person who would advise online sessions for traditional arts. You have to learn it from Guru Mukham. That is the basic norm for that. There's nothing like learning it directly from Guru, but we don't have a choice now. So we have to, we just can't wait, because it's a testing time. So let's experience this, but do it in a proper way.
Yes.
And online teaching is not easy. It's very difficult. Teaching and learning.
Yes.
It's very difficult. It's difficult in the sense, it's difficult in the sense you have to put in your heart and soul, because especially techniques and nuances, when you teach students, it has to be explained. If it's a one-to-one direct class, you're just watching a guru there, and they might come and correct your hand, or you have to have your elbow here, or your face should be like this. But you have this lateral inversion, right? What do you call that? This opposite side, this left and right is so confusing. So for the little ones, but then we got used to it, and I made it a point that I clarify it. And then, of course, the technical hitch is like, the time lag. Like when you do a talam, it's 2 minutes. There's a 2-second lag which reaches there. So when I sing something, I should sing, because if I look at them, then the timing is different. And for us, talam is very important.
Yes.
Yeah. So these kind of little things are there, but we need to overcome that. And so that is how the lockdown period is being utilized mainly.
Yes.
And of course, promoting and bringing awareness to people to be safe and take care of themselves.
Yes.
These are two. As an artist, as a public figure, I think I've done that for many television. They all ask us. Yes. I've done that for many TVs, giving messages, and in a humble way. So because when you're a public figure, people relate to you. and they listen to you. So in that way, I have done my humble way of bringing in awareness, which is very important. These are the little things.
So it's really obviously affected the entertainment industry, tourism,
Yes.
entertainment. I mean, these are the industries really hit badly. And of course, a lot of businesses are struggling. What do you think the new normal could be? How is it going to be all set for us?
There is going to be a new normal, definitely, because I think this we are going to get used to this until everything comes to an absolute normalcy after the vaccine comes in. But even then, let me tell you, I'm no, it is going to come fast. I'm sure it's going to. I'm very, very hopeful, and obviously, like everybody's working for it. We're hearing good news of different, yeah, not just about the vaccine. Okay, that's there, but how the immunity factor is going to help us to come back to normalcy. But let me tell you, I think it will be a new normal, like, keeping distance, and it won't be like old times before. That's why, like, when you asked me about retrospection, I was just kind of looking back and cherishing all those lovely moments, the memories you had with your loved ones, with your work, with your colleagues, with the places you visited. As artists, we get that blessing of visiting so many lovely places, meeting absolutely adorable people. We are so blessed in that. I must tell you that I've met some gems in life who've inspired me in so many ways. I'm in touch with them. So these are things definitely we miss during these times, but it will definitely come back. But there is going to be a new normal where we have to get used to, and number one, be very, very aware of your environment. And environmental destruction is the biggest enemy, I feel. I think it's a repercussion of this collective, harm that has happened to our
So that's the,
thing.
like, I think it's more about like reflection generally, isn't it? Like how we have
Correct.
taken care of our hygiene, and some of the facts that washing hands and this distance and covering your when you cough, and these are really like basic things when you think about
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah, no, we've been practicing that, but of course, I mean, everybody does that. But now it's extra care, like like sanitizing your hair and a little too much. But what to
Yeah,
do?
I know.
We have to do that.
Can really
It's
peel out
become like
skin off.
absolutely, it's like that. But I think it's a need of the hour. So we need to take care. We need to
Yes,
take care and be careful for others also. It's not just us,
yes,
because you have to be careful for others also. So that's a
true.
responsibility. Yeah.
Have you had any particular, like when you think about stuff, in retrospect, even reflecting on certain things, have you had anything that's come up that's interesting that you would have thought of, oh, I wish I'd done that differently? I'm not talking about general, about hand hygiene and stuff, but just really going personal into initiative.
Uh, and, no, about the restrictions, of course, during the pandemic, there are a lot of restrictions that have been imposed, which have created a lot of difficulties, like containment zone, and they just isolate one area, and these kind of things could have been more organized, and at least because. I don't think that's bringing down the spread of the virus, or people are going out, they still go out, and it's causing a lot of trouble for a lot of normal people who cannot get used to this, and it's difficult. Like certain people are living in very, very difficult circumstances. So that I feel that should have been a little more. But we can't help it because it's all new, and
Exactly.
for
Plus,
everybody, even for
government.
the
Yeah,
the system itself is coping up with that, and they're doing their best. I mean, in every way.
true.
So that I think we should just go with it right now and be supportive, cooperate with the instructions.
All what we can do right now is follow the instructions given by the authorities and
Yes,
go with the flow.
absolutely. That's correct. That's what we should do.
So, have you got any list of things that you want to do once things go back to normal?
Yeah, many. The first thing is my dance production, which is like it's almost. I'm planning a new production. I've
Wow.
started choreographing it, and music is done by Sri Sharath. He's almost done it actually. He just has to do the final mixing part. So I'm waiting for that because I need the music and I should start. It's a big production. It's got a lot of theater and it's got a lot of classical dance. It's got it's a very interesting theme and I've been working on it for quite some time. So it's almost set. So once everything comes to normal, I have to jump back and
You
just
want to
kind of
put
yes. I want
everything
to start with
together.
that. Yeah, that is one thing. And there are two very interesting films which got stuck because of this. One is which I've been doing. I was shooting for Mr. Akhil Satyan, who's director Satyanandika's son, the
Oh,
twin
nice.
brother of the twin brother of Anup Satyan, who did a film with Suresh Shetty and Shobna recently. So the twin brother Akhil is doing a film with Fahad Fasil, and I'm
Oh,
doing a very important role in that. So we were shooting actually January, December, and just before the pandemic, I was in Bombay shooting for him for almost 5 or 6 days in Bombay in the Dharavi, that slum area. Like,
oh my
luckily,
God.
we finished all that and came back. So that film is pending. It's a very interesting character I have in that, and it's a great experience. And I'm waiting to, my combination with Fahad hasn't started yet. So he's one actor who I really admire. One of the most talented youngsters we have now, and that's a great film that's coming up. So that's one thing. Then I'm doing another Telugu film with Sri P.C. Sriram, and the director is Venki. It's a very big profile film with Kirti Suresh and Nitin. I'm doing another important role in that. So actually, we were supposed to go to Italy and shoot. It's about family living there, and me and my wife and my brother-in-law comes there. So that's the story, and we were supposed to shoot it in Milan in March. Like there was some, I mean, Jan end, I think. Yeah, Jan end, we were supposed to go. There was some climate weather issues, and what they did is they put a set in Ramoji Film City, and we shot the interior of that mansion in
Right.
Ramoji Film City. So we shot for 10 days. That film is there, and now they've contacted me. Like they're planning to start it in October. They blocked my dates in October. So there are things like that. So all this is I'm eagerly waiting. A lot of programs which have been cancelled, and then we have to catch up with that.
That
All that is there.
that leads to my one tricky question then.
Um,
If you have both of that together, like at the same time, dance program and
uh,
plus a movie together, what would your choice be?
No, see, I have been balancing it beautifully all my career for the past 35 years. It's been happening, so it's not tricky now. Like, it depends on how your commitment is very important.
Yeah.
What do you commit first, and accordingly, see everything can be sorted out. You can talk to them. You can talk about the dates, and you have dates. Of course, okay, this many dates are there, so I cannot. So some programs you cannot accept because they have their date issues. So it has to be mutually sorted out by us,
Negotiable
and
and yeah.
yeah, negotiable and fix it accordingly.
Yes.
Fix it accordingly because that's very important. How you accept and then you commit to something, then you have to do it. So whenever I do a movie commitment, I always make sure my dates are there. Unfortunately, if something creeps in, then obviously we request them for an adjustment, and they give us. They always give us because see everything can be adjusted unless there is a very important combination and you can't leave and something like that. Okay, maybe, and we also understand. So it's not very difficult, but because I give equal
Important.
respect to both my professions. Actually, it's very difficult to balance the both, but I'm doing it in my own humble way.